Have you ever asked yourself, why is my life so boring? Well, maybe it's because of the corporate hubbub, the drabness, the stillness that you can almost feel in your bones. And then the idea comes up in your head. What if this was not meant for me? What if I take this chance to go out into the green valley and live on a farm? Well, this is a little game called Stardew Valley, and I've got to be in it for 3 years and learn more about the creator, and this is simply one of the most successful gaming projects ever. I think summer has overstayed its welcome, and yeah, that's kind of how I'm feeling right now. I've been kind of wandering aimlessly, so have a look at my grandma's collection of elephants. She thinks that they give her luck because she's a gambler, so I'm looking for something very in particular. Not this. This. You see, for generations, I had a little portable console. At first, it started with the OG DS. I had a Yoshi 3DS XL. And then it got to the Switch. And I've had the Switch. And it kind of just got lost to time and lost to bigger priorities until now. How did Stardew get into my life? Well, I guess I was just bored. 104 days summer vacation. That's a lot of days. So, I had to do something. But do you ever just have to not do anything, let your mind wander, discover something, and it kind of be inspiring? It's odd, but the history of Stardew, how it was made, what the product is, it's inspiring. Alright, this is the time where I actually play the game. So Stardew is brilliantly designed. It was made by a concerned ape, and no, it's not that type of ape, but this ape. His name is Eric Baroni. I really like him because he plays in a band that does calypso music with steel drums, so he's a pretty cool guy. Anyway, the story is that a single developer worked laboriously for 4.5 years, 10 hours, 7 days a week to create this monstrosity. And basically, it's a reimagining of his favorite game, Harvest Moon. And he was driven by this quest to perfect this model of the life simulator that in past was a very popular format. It turns out, painfully grinding anything and researching and doing due diligence to the small meticulous design details of these games, you can make a product that's a multi-million-dollar experience. I got hooked to Stardew, I think because of the romanticization of farm tasks. It's a world that I think's largely gone from the American dream, but I'd always ask my mother, what she would want to do in her ideal life, and she always would want to own a farm. And, I think a lot of those dreams are people think them to be far from their reach, that in modern society there are too many constraints from a really open and free dream like this. We hold too many things dear, and it's scary to think that there's not a world in which this lifestyle is appealing, and it still is. So the small things we do in life, you know, although they're not very romantic, there is a romantic side to anything. And Stardew is really a mix of all those things, you know, our little small mind inside us that really does like the satisfaction of like sweeping your room, of tending to your pets. All of that in succession can bring a lot of satisfaction. All right, and that's pretty much it for this video. I want to end with one quote about farming, a commenter on YouTube. Farming is the epitome of human existence. My granddad always broke things down pretty simple when I was a kid. Sometimes it rains when you don't want it to. Sometimes it don't rain when you need it to. Sometimes it's too hot and sometimes it's too cold. But the days when it's just right make it all worthwhile. Some years are great and others make you walk in the field and cry, but quitting just isn't an option. And after all, a roof, food, and clothing is all you really need. So yeah, I think when you get down to it, I think life is pretty simple. We make things complicated, but you gotta ask yourself, you know, what are the true things you need in life? And I think you gotta focus on those. So, alright, I did my mission. I uploaded the video. Now we gotta get the fuck out of here, and I'm gonna eat pizza.